Previously, we were introduced to our protagonist Ichika, a real ladies' man. Not only is he the first male to activate an IS, but he is also the first man to attend the IS Academy. Of course, with his exclusivity, all of the girls fight over him, causing Ichika to lead to his current situation. Episode 7. In a group, Cecilia and Rin are seen talking to other girls about the upcoming competition. The random girls tell the two that Ichika has promised to go out with whoever wins all of their upcoming matches. Huki, on the other hand, wonders how her simple question to hang out with Ichika turned into a school-wide competition. Despite having all the other people participating in the competition now that Ichika is the prize, Huki is still sure of her victory. He remembers back in the 4th grade when she had a kendo tournament, but it was cancelled after the announcement of IS. Not long after these events, her sister went missing and her parents moved away. She eventually ended up taking her emotions out on a tournament, hurting her opponent. She promises herself this time she will win, without letting her emotions get the better of her. Later that day, Rin arrives at the training facility, is interrupted by Cecilia with the same idea. Decide whoever wins in a battle will get full access to the training facility for the day. Celia makes fun of Rin, causing her to summon her IS and prepare for battle. Celia does the same, and the two stand off, ready to fight. Before they are able to engage, however, Laura pops up and puts a stop to their fight. Laura stands before the two girls and tells them they are much worse than how they are on paper. Laura continues to antagonize the two, asking for the both of them to come at her. Cecilia and Rin both argue back, but eventually decide to just charge in. During this, Ichika and Charles are walking back to their dorm until they overhear a battle is going on. Upon arriving, he finds Rin and Cecilia both on the ground after getting knocked down by Laura. Rin attempts to counteract, but Laura counterattacks, dealing more damage than Rin. While watching, Ichika recognizes Laura's strength while wishing for Rin and Cecilia to win. During the match, Laura shows no signs of fatigue until she's cornered by Cecilia. Instead of giving Cecilia the chance to attack, he fires back faster, knocking her to the ground. Rin follows suit, and then Laura prepares to finish them for good with her blaster. Amidst this, Cecilia fires a missile back, causing a huge explosion. However, to the girls' surprise, Laura emerges fine and continues to overpower the other girls. During this, Laura continues to punch the girls rather than damage the barrier, making it impossible for them to surrender. Ichika notices this and decides to transform into his own IS and join in on the battle. Before we continue, let's take a moment to answer the question of the day. Would you fight Laura hoping to prove your worth? Would you try and talk it out? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out in the next video. Now back to the recap. He breaks through the barrier and charges towards Laura, but he is stopped in his tracks by an invisible barrier. Laura tells Ichika he is a fool for changing in based on his emotions. She readies her gun, but Charles joins in on the fight as well, pushing Laura back. Ichika takes advantage of this moment and swoops up on Rin and Cecilia. After taking them to safety and confirming they are okay, Ichika turns around to get back in the fight. During this, Laura is close to defeating Charles, aiming her sword. Right before Laura can slash down Orimura, comes in the middle and blocks her attack without even using an IS. Tells everyone that fighting is banned until the tournament, to ensure nobody is injured before the tournament. Later that day, Ichika takes a visit to Cecilia and Rin in the hospital. He asks the two why they were even fighting to begin with, which they hint it's because of Ichika. Ichika then walks over and tells the girls to stop acting tough. Right after he finishes talking to the two, a group of girls barge in, handing Ichika a piece of paper. Written on it says anyone participating in the tournament must do so with a partner. They all ask to team with him. Ichika tells the girls that he is already partnering with Charles, so he can't be their partner. Cecilia and Rin then approach and tell Ichika they should partner with them, rather than someone like Charles. Then Maya comes in and tells the girls that their IS is too damaged to participate in the tournament. Girls sigh but realize as long as Ichika wins the tournament, then no one can go on a date with him. Later that night on the walk home, Charles thanks Ichika for teaming up with her for the tournament. Ichika tells her that he doesn't want other people finding out about her identity, so they need to stay together. After arriving back at the dorm, Ichika tells Charles that she is cute, despite her appearance. Realizing it's time for bed, Ichika tells Charles he can step outside while she changes, but she tells him she is okay with it. Charles then tells Ichika that it would be strange for him to step out for another guy. After these events, Ichika goes to sleep while Charles looks over at him, wishing he had continued. Charles reveals that Ichika is the first person to make her seem like she is needed. A few days later, the day of the tournament comes around. Ichika notices that there are a lot of executives of companies watching it, so he wonders who all could be here. Episode 8. With his first matchup being against Laura and Haoki, he does not have it easy. While the clock counts down, Ichika starts the battle by rushing in at Laura. Laura stops him, however, giving Ichika no chance to land a hit. Charles then emerges above Ichika and starts attacking, giving Ichika some space. Huki notices this and runs into the battle and stops Charles. Suddenly then, Ichika runs in and stops Huki from advancing on Charles. Just when it seemed like Ichika has the upper hand, Laura comes in and swings Huki out of the battle, giving her a chance to escape Ichika's grasp. While watching the battle, Orimura reveals that Laura doesn't even think of Huki as a teammate. They're always fighting solo. Going back to the battle, Charles has depleted Haoki's shields, rendering her immobile. She regroups with Ichika, and the two prepare to finish Laura off for good. Ichika charges in and misses, but he sees an opening while fighting. This time when he charges in, Charles shoots Laura while she is using her barrier. This breaks through the barrier because of its limited range, gives Ichika the advantage. Laura doesn't give up, however, striking back and sending Ichika to the ground. Charles then charges in and uses a new attack, surprising Laura. Laura then is attacked repeatedly by a combo attack from Ichika and Charles. Charles then runs in to finish Laura off, punching her into the wall. While she is getting beat down, Laura remembers the reason for her birth. She was raised as a killing machine that had only one purpose: to be the strongest. She reveals that she had nanomachines implemented into eyes to give her the power she needed. After failing at using her new power, she was cast away and found by Orimura. Laura reveals that she hates Ichika because Orimura only smiles at the thought of Ichika. She decides to awaken her eye and use it to make herself stronger than anyone else. Laura then starts entangling herself with a liquid, causing her to turn into a monster-like form. Orimura recognizes the danger and shuts down the school, hoping Laura doesn't get too out of control. He then suspends all matches for the rest of the day and watches Ichika try and figure out how to defeat her. Ichika resolves his courage and attempts to charge in, but he is beaten to a pulp instantly. Ichika notices that Laura's new form is a copy of his sister's old techniques. Ichika tries to charge in and stop her, but Huki grabs Ichika, reminds him not to act hastily. While looking at the new IS, Ichika remembers when his sister first taught him a sword. Huki tells him to back off and let the school handle this, but Ichika tells her that he has to be the one to defeat her. Charles then approaches and offers Ichika some of her IS's power that he can get another go. After transferring her energy to Ichika, he initiates his IS and summons a weapon. Before he runs into the battle, Ichika tells Huki to be patient and wait for him, because he will win. Ichika then prepares his sword and gets in stance to take the IS down. It only takes Ichika one slice to open up the center of the IS and retrieve Laura. After waking up, Laura remembers when Ichika told her that he would protect her from now on. She looks to her side and sees Orimura, who tells her that because of her, the whole school closed down. Orimura tells Laura that because she wished to become stronger and use her eye, she lost all control of her body. Orimura then leaves. On the way out, she tells Laura that she will never be as strong as she is. Ichika, on the other hand, is seen eating dinner with Charles after the battle. Huki then approaches, and Ichika decides to take initiative on going out with Huki. He tells her that he would like to go shopping with her, but she gets mad his thoughts aren't more dirty. Maya then walks over to Ichika and announces the opening of a new men's bathhouse. Charles decides to go in as well, having been able to sue one since she has arrived. Ichika gets embarrassed and tells Charles he can leave if she wants him to. Charles, however, tells Ichika that the only reason she is at school is because of him. She then tells him her real name, Charlotte, and asks Ichika to call her it when they are alone. The following day, Maya announces that there will be another new transfer student. Charlotte then emerges and reveals herself as a girl to the rest of the school. Rin then runs into the room and demands an answer from Ichika, demanding he dorm with Charlotte. Before Ichika is attacked, Laura emerges and puts up a barrier blocking the attack. Right after saving him, Laura kisses Ichika, announces to the class that he will be her husband. Episode 9. Receiving a call is Tabon, Huki's older sister and the creator of the IS. Tabon tells Huki that she already knows she wants a personal IS, so she has prepared one. She reveals Huki's own unit, tells her that it is specifically suited to her needs. Ichika, on the other hand, wakes up the following day to Laura lying in his bed naked. She tells Ichika that they are married, though it doesn't matter if she is naked. Ichika tries to push her off, but she puts him in an arm lock instead. During this, Huki walks into his bedroom and finds the two wrestling. Huki then decides to attack Ichika, despite him being in his own room. Later on that day, Ichika invites Charlotte to go look at clothes with him, the other girls being too crazy. Ichika then accidentally calls Charlotte Charles, and this makes her sad. She then tells Ichika that the only way she will cheer up if they hold hands. Ichika agrees, and this draws the attention of Rin and Cecilia, who are nearby stalking him. Laura then approaches the two girls and tells them that she has no intentions of hurting them. She tells the two that she is going to join them on the date and have some fun. Rin and Cecilia convince her to stalk the two walk around first, but they know how serious their relationship is. Ichika, on the other hand, is yet to notice the onlookers, so he proposes a nickname to Charlotte. Ichika tells her he will call her Charl from now on, and she becomes excited. The two continue their date around the town, till Ichika tells her he wants to do some unrelated shopping. While shopping, Ichika's childhood friend and his sister are seen walking through the same area. Suddenly, Charl comes over and drags Ichika into a changing room, asking what he thinks of her swimsuit. While hiding within the changing room, she peeks through the curtain to see the others following them. Charl then tells Ichika to turn around so she can change into a swimsuit of her own. Ichika attempts to resist his urges, so he decides to count all of pi while waiting for her to change. After changing, Charl reveals a swimsuit to Ichika, only to be found by Orimura. After being found out, Maya gives them a lecture regarding the boundaries on school grounds. Laura, on the other hand, calls her home country to ask for information regarding which swimsuit will look best on her. The leader of the group asks Laura how many swimsuits she currently has. Laura explains that the school provided one is her only one, but the girl on the phone decides to initiate a plan. The next day at the beach, Ichika is approached by various girls asking to hang out with Ichika. Eventually, Cecilia approaches in her new swimsuit, hoping to get her promise fulfilled. She pulls out some oils and asks Ichika to rub it on her back for her. Ichika rubs the oil together on his hands and lathers her back with it, making it seem much more intense than it is. Rin, however, doesn't let Cecilia get any further. Rin proposes to race back, but while she is swimming, her leg cramps up, causing her to drown to the bottom. Ichika comes to the rescue, however, pulling her to the surface. Cecilia then apologizes and tells Rin that she will escort her back to the hotel. Ichika then is approached by Laura and Charl, both hoping to impress him. Charl whispers to Laura to take all of the bandages off and reveal the swimsuit underneath. She is nervous, but eventually Laura takes all the wrapping off, revealing a cute swimsuit. Ichika compliments her, and this makes Laura's heart skip a beat. Interrupting their moment is more girls asking Ichika to join them in a volleyball match. Charl receives the incoming attack and sets Ichika up perfectly. This doesn't end the point, however, and they continue to rally until the ball hits Laura's face. While everyone was out having fun, Uki was out looking at the sunset by herself. Orimura eventually finds her, and assumes her sister is the reason for her being troubled. Orimura tells Huki that her sister had no part in Laura's IS malfunction, so she doesn't need to worry about that. Episode 10. A few days later, Ichika and the others go on a trip to a hot spring in the mountains. As they eat dinner, Charl attempts to eat some wasabi, but instead her mouth gets set ablaze from the spice. Ichika then asks Cecilia what her issue is, her acting weirdly. Eventually, Ichika can't stand seeing Cecilia struggle, so he offers to help feed her. He then proceeds to feed her a piece of her food, and it draws the attention of the rest of the class. Suddenly, easing the chaos is Orimura telling Ichika to calm down and stop making a scene. Cecilia gets angry, so Ichika offers Cecilia to come pay a visit to his room to make up for it. Later on, some girls see Cecilia putting on some lingerie, so they go and strip her, wanting to see what she is putting on. They all call her naughty, while Cecilia simply just wants to impress Ichika. Cecilia finally arrives outside of Ichika's room to find all the other girls outside, overhearing what's going on inside. Once she arrives, she can hear Orimura and Ichika conversing in the room. They all lean on the door and knock it down, causing the two to realize the girls were spying on them. They realize it was a massage, nothing else, so they calm down. Orimura tells them that Ichika is very good at giving massages, and they should get one too. Ichika offers to give Cecilia a massage first, having promised to repay her. While massaging her, Orimura stops Ichika and reveals Cecilia's naughty underwear. Orimura then sends Ichika off to buy some drinks and discuss some things with the girls. She asks them all why they are all in love with him and follows him around. She ends with telling the girls to become stronger if they want a chance at catching Ichika's attention. Later that day, Ichika discovers Hoki looking at some things implemented in the ground. After pulling them out, a missile falls from the sky, containing Hoki's sister, Tabana. After arriving, she tells Ichika that she's going to go and look around for Huki. Later that day, the girls, along with Ichika, go to the rock shores to do some training. Before they are able to start, they realize Huki has no personal unit. Suddenly, Tabane emerges and tells Huki that she has arrived to give her a personal unit. Bon then introduces herself to the other girls, impressing them with just her name. Suddenly, Tabone tells them to look up, and an IS falls from the sky. Tabana presents it to Huki, telling her that it is the first ever fourth generation is to be made. Huki approaches the IS in disbelief that she will be the first one to use a fourth generation. For context, all of the others have either a second generation is, or a select few have third generation. Huki then powers up the IS and flies around displaying the increase in speed with the newer technology. Tabana then tells Huki to try out an attack to see how powerful she is now. Bane then sends some missiles towards Huki so that she has something to use her newfound power on. Right when they were really testing out the IS, Maya approaches Orimura, telling her of an urgent mission. Orimura tells the others that the US and Israel created a new third generation that is unmanned, wreaking havoc. Orimura tells them that the IS will soon arrive at their location and most likely attempt to destroy the facilities. Orimura then tells the group that their job will be to intercept it before it reaches the school. With this being an urgent mission, Orimura tells the others not to tell anyone of this knowledge. Each of the girls then weigh their options, wondering how they can beat an unmanned IS. After realizing they have no chance against it without some real power, everyone looks at Ichika. They realize it will be difficult to get into close range for Ichika to land an attack, so they talk amongst themselves how to get Ichika in close. Ichika protests why he has to deal with the final attack, because Orimura's words of encouragement steal his resolve. Orimura then ends the meeting, not having found a solution, but Tabani emerges telling them she has a plan. Tabane tells them that with Huki's new fourth generation they will be able to get within Ichika's range. First, before they fight the IS, Bon decides to give Huki a real breakdown of her new IS. She explains that all of her armor is retractable, able to be used as weapons. Thinking about this unmanned robot, talk about an event that happened 10 years ago. Over 2,000 missiles were sent toward Japan, causing the country to erupt. However, a single white knight saved them all and disappeared. Saban then goes over to Orimura and hints that she is the knight who saved Japan. After going over their plan and helping Huki learn her new EIS, the team is ready to take the US is on. Episode 11. Ready to depart, they walk down the beach to summon their IS and charge into battle. Huki unleashes her brand new fourth generation and prepares to launch Ichika to the unmanned IS. Ichika reminds Huki that this isn't training and that she needs to be on her game. Orimura then calls them and tells them their target's location has been confirmed. Orimura gives them one last word of encouragement before sending the location, hoping to lighten their spirits. Orimura then ends the call and talks just to Ichika. She tells him that Huki still hasn't fully perfected her eyes. He needs to protect her. They then launch off, and Ichika realizes why they chose Huki to guide him, having incredible speed. They fly towards the unmanned IS with the speed of a jet, prepare their attack once they see the IS. Huki alerts Ichika that they will be in contact within 10 seconds, so he pulls out his weapon and gets ready to attack. He jumps towards it, but it dodges instantly and flies at speeds comparable to Huki. The IS not only flies fast, it uses a variety of different attacks to slow down Ichika and Huki. Their current plan not working, he rushes in and distracts the IS so that Ichika can land a hit. Instead of going in for the attack, he rushes to the side to block the attack. Huki asks what he is doing, to which Ichika explains there is a ship below them. He continues blocking the shots until Huki tells him to stop and come help her attack. Ichika then tells her it's not like her to not want to help others. He tells her that she needs to regain her senses and fight for the good of the people. Huki then drops her sword, being out of energy, causing her to miss an incoming attack from the IS. Ichika runs in and takes the attack head-on, saving Huki in the process. After taking a direct hit from the IS, Ichika faints and leaves the unmanned IS to continue forward. While this is going on, Orimura watches and tells the others to continue the mission. Outside of Orimura's mission room, all the girls witnessed Ichika lose in the fight. They remember all the times that Orimura has helped her brother and wonder how she will feel if he fails. They all decide to give her some space, knowing it must be hardest on her of all. Huki, on the other hand, is seen overlooking Ichika's barely alive body, being held on thanks to an EV. She blames the failure of the mission on herself. Despite all of her training and receiving the most powerful, she still failed to protect Ichika. She begins to question how Ichika can protect anyone, even people like the criminals who were within the boat. She realizes that, compared to Ichika, he has no respect for human life. Huki continues to question how Ichika is able to put others before himself. Aya then enters the room and tells Huki that she needs to get some sleep herself. She tells Huki that it is a request specifically from Orimura, ordering her to rest. Huki then leaves, wishing Ichika goodbye as she does so. Following this, she goes and trains, hoping to relieve some of the stress on her. While running, she remembers talking with Ichika as a child outside of their dojo. She remembers Ichika telling her that he will defeat anyone who gets in his way. Huki then tells Ichika her name, wanting him to remember it, and he does the same. Huki then looks at her wrist, inspecting the bracelet that made her remember Ichika. Rin then approaches, tells Huki to snap out of it, tells her that if she doesn't get stronger, she won't ever be able to protect Ichika. Huki responds by telling her that she will quit piloting an IS. This angers Rin, so she slaps her, causing Huki to reveal her true feelings. The other girls arrive and tell Huki that they are glad to see her back to her senses. They all tell Huki that they can't let the mission end in failure, so they prepare a plan. Laura reveals the location of the IS to the group, showing they have a chance soon to get it, then asks the others what their plan is for defeating the IS, to which they all seem confident. They all then ask Huki what she will do, and whether she will fight or not. Huki tells them that she won't give up, so they all prepare to go and re-challenge the IS. Laura starts the attack by sending in a long-range attack on the IS. Oramura sees this and decides to let them try their best in defeating the IS. Episode 12. The group arrives at the scene of the battle and are stunned to see its speed firsthand. The unmanned IS moves from girl to girl, dealing damage to each one. With inhuman reaction speeds, it is impossible to land a solid hit on the IS. When Charles goes in for an attack, she is countered by the IS and forced on the defensive. Ishika, on the other hand, is seen sitting atop a tree in a lake. He sees a white-haired girl across the lake and decides to approach to greet her. While he is in his dreams thinking about other girls, they continue to fight with the IS. Ichika continues to just stand there and observe her beauty before speaking. Breaking the silence, the girl tells Ichika that they need him. He then disappears, giving Ichika no choice but to wake up and go to protect the girls. Lake then disappears, and a woman stands before him, asking if he wants the power to fix his issues. Going back to the fight, Uki engages with the IS at close range, taking it down all by herself. Their surprise, instead of staying down, the IS re-emerges, transforms into its second form. Ichika, on the other hand, is still in his dream, talking to the female IS pilot. She asks him why he wants power, to which he tells her he wants to protect his friends. She at first doesn't understand why he wants to protect others, but agrees to lend him her power after seeing his resolve. Following this, the now evolved unmanned IS shoots a new beam toward Hoki, rendering her immobile. After taking her down, the IS continues to defeat Cecilia and Charles. While lying down, Huki can only think about Ichika, wishing he was there to comfort her, as if her wish was granted. Instantly, Ichika stands atop her, asking if she is all right, tells her that he has come to fight, and that he is fully recovered. He breaks down into tears after learning that Ichika has recovered. Ichika then wishes her a happy birthday, him being the only one who even realizes it. Ichika then dashes away into battle, hoping to put an end to this battle for good. Amidst this, Oramura is struggling to get her cameras working. Then suddenly a group of girls come into her room and alert her that Ichika has left to fight. She then watches as Ichika and the others fight the IS's new form. Ichika asks all the girls to cover for him as he launches the final attack. Huki, on the other hand, is able to achieve a new form after wanting to help Ichika as well. She then follows the others and heads into battle, having just gotten her eyes recharged. During this, Ichika rushes towards the IS but runs out of energy, so he is forced to rely on Huki to recharge him. After being recharged thanks to Huki, Ichika rushes back into battle with the others. As the battle goes, it gets harder and harder to see who has the advantage as the two continue to exchange blows. Just when Ichika thinks he will land an attack, the robot is always able to avoid and counterattack. With the combined efforts of all the girls, they are able to block and evade attacks together. Breaking the tension, Ichika flies in from above, dealing massive damage to the IS. He knocks it to the shore and stabs into its chest, rendering the IS immobile. Having completed the mission, the group arrives back to the school to report to Oramura. Oramura tells them that despite succeeding, they will be undergoing serious training as punishment for breaking the rules. She then tells the group they did a good job and rests for the remainder of today. They then head to dinner and are bombarded with questions from other girls wanting to know the details. Laura scares them off by telling them if they learn what happened, it would be subject to their training as well. While they are talking, Oramura and Taban talk with each other. Oramura asks Taban why the unmanned IS used the same energy core, the first one that she produced. Oramura then asks about Ichika, wondering how he is the only male able to operate an IS. Oramura then asks Tabane why she decided to show up now, give her sister a new IS. On then asks her whether or not she enjoys the world and disappears. Ichika, on the other hand, is seen looking out into the ocean, wondering if he made the right choice accepting the power from his dream. Huki then approaches in a swimsuit, catching the eyes of Ichika. Remembering her hair got burned during their fight, Ichika asks whether she is okay or not. Huki tells him that she is fine. She asks Ichika how he was able to recover so fast. He tells her not to worry about it, but this makes Huki express her feelings. Huki tells Ichika that she was worried about him, and it was her fault he was injured. Ichika then flicks her on the head, telling her not to worry about him. Huki grabs his hand and places it on her chest while asking him what he thinks of her. Ichika finally takes a hint and leans in for a kiss, but he is shot by Cecilia. Ichika then picks Huki up and runs from the other girls who want to win his heart.